Good day, viewers. My name is Reginalda Nulumbu, and today we'll be talking about the employment impact after COVID-19. Oh, COVID-19 caused such a global health crisis and changed the economic and labor market. Like, so many people lost their loved ones, and so many people's health are now deteriorating. Like, people are not functioning the way they used to because of this COVID-19. And with the economy, if one had to suffer from asthma and it got worse because of COVID-19, they would stop going to work because they wouldn't function the way they used to. Well, from 2019, globally, the unemployment number was already at 190 million, and it stated that throughout COVID-19, or by the end of COVID-19, it would go up to 195 million unemployed number of people. And imagine if right now it has to go until if right now the 5 million could be added to that. How is the future for planet Earth? Let me say, how is the future for our world? What are we going to do after that? A lot of people will be losing their jobs. A lot of people will not be able to get back to their jobs. A lot of people will literally be stay-at-home parents, stay-at-home kids, stay-at-home. It's after the COVID-19, it's gonna be a mess. Literally, it's gonna be a mess. People are not really willing. People won't be willing to help their families out in terms of finance. Pardon me. Well, let us learn from the Great Recession, 2008 to 2009, which had a slow economic recovery and social and political uncertainty. Well, this Great Recession, had a slow economy, of which they just weren't sure of how the development of the country was going. Well, in terms of political or development uncertainty and social uncertainty, where people were not even sure whether to invest or not. Like, they literally wouldn't know what to do in terms of probably finances regarding what is going on. Speaking of Great Recession, Great Recession was a period that was marked globally whereby so much declination happened. There was a low GDP declination. GDP declined globally. The unemployment declined globally. It was just a mess during that time. It was a period that took 18 months, and within those 18 months there was so much that was lost. Well, they realized the way they did their data was really different. They calculated annually, that was like within a year, but then they realized that it wasn't insufficient, because we're not just talking about unemployment here. There are so many people that are employed but only work for like 4 months in a year, or like they only work 2 days in a week. How do you group those people? Are they being employed or are they not? Whereby you work for like only 4 months in a year, like, and the rest of the months you're not getting a salary to like help and sustain your family. Now, are you part of the employment community or the unemployment community? That is why they decided to bring up a new way of calculating their data, and they had to divide it into counting like literally data in a month, or like data per hour. For example, it was 2020 where they calculated 7% loss, but then they later increased it to 14% because they divided into the number of hours that has been lost, the number of unemployed that has been lost, grouping things, because you cannot put someone who works only 2 days in a week and you say they're employed and get what at the end of that? Literally, that's their only source of income. How do you explain that? Literally, Great Recession was a lesson learned, and I hope every country takes it that way. And the new ways of data, of taking data, should be used literally by every country in terms of economic wise, and shouldn't just be, calculating their data in terms of, in India, the year 2020, we had so much people, that ended up losing their jobs. So much people losing their jobs, like in terms of how losing their jobs permanently or losing their jobs where they only had to probably work for 6. The informal economy is largely occupied by migrants and women, and a lot have been affected, especially due to lockdown. Lockdown was a period where a country is told, people are told to stay indoors to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. Imagine if you have to stay at home for 3 months. What would you expect? Obviously, the economy would shut. People won't be going out to buy things in shops. People won't be going out for work. Well, with shops, they would, but not everybody would be willing to go, even though they really wanted to at the moment. So a lot has been lost during that process of lockdown because not so much was going on. The youth has been affected, especially by this whole coronavirus, because the people that just graduated, after graduation, you expect, to look for a job, go out there, look for a job. But it wasn't the same case anymore, because after graduation, you have to sit at home and wait for a year and allow people to get back on their feet as well. Because right now, people were being retrained and losing their jobs. And how would you expect a company or an agency to employ you when they're already busy firing other people? It was a lot, the job seeking. You're being at home for 3 months during lockdown. You won't really be going out and printing out your CVs or printing out your documents freely the way you wanted, because there's a hole that is happening and you need to also look after yourself to prevent the corona. In fact, to prevent yourself from getting infected by the coronavirus. Woman is working, let me say, as a cashier, and they have so many cashiers. What is the use of keeping literally maybe 5 cashiers when they can only keep 2 at the moment, if not even a lot of people will be coming to the shops? And they kept, the men, because the men are the strongest, or the men have the high skilled jobs whereby their work is really needed in a company or in an agency. So I really think that it was really so unfair. Well, it is unfair and fair at the same time, because if you're running a business is business, and you have to consider, if you're losing out, you need to let go, and in order to keep the company running as well. Well, I really hope, we all hope that coronavirus really fades away and comes to an end, because we've lost so much. We've lost our loved ones. Oof. We lost our material possessions. It's a whole lot to take in when you've put in so much work to work for something, and at the end of the day, you end up losing it just because, life happens, eh? Well, after the coronavirus, it's gonna be a whole lot going on. Countries will be in debt. Countries will be borrowing from other countries. People will be borrowing from other people. Borrow me $1,000, I will give it to you after some time, just to sustain their families at the moment. People will be in debt, literally. There'll be so much unemployment rate. There'll be so much political frustration. It's going to be a whole lot that will be happening after COVID-19. And it's from the COVID-19 that, the government and the private sectors need to realize that they have to work together. Literally, as a nation, we have to work together to work on the economy as well, the global economy, because, well, some of the countries really had the worst impact in regards to the coronavirus. And I would say only 2 out of the G7 countries that experienced a slow increase in the number of unemployment. And the G7 is just a summit that happens between countries. Let me speak of all those. Well, from me, I really hope you do have yourself a wonderful day. Thank you.